Hi, this is Joelle, and I am the Viberarian. I am here to elevate, enlighten, and empower. I'm undertaking that journey for myself and then sharing it with you in the hopes that you will also be elevated, enlightened, and empowered for your journey. I am here to do an In the Cards reading. Now, my In the Cards series are where I take these awesome decks that I have brought into the Viberary collection and I do a reading, share a little bit about the deck, where I got it from, background, all kinds of stuff. And then I do a reading with the new deck. So today's a little bit different because I already did the reading, but I just had to share it with you as part of the deck experience because it was super amazing and powerful. So today's deck is the Cosmic Journey Oracle by Yanik Silver. Now, I got this deck in Mount Shasta, California. I just came back from doing a spiritual activation and retreat there. It was absolutely amazing. I will be sharing more details about that trip experience and how you can be a part of the next one in the description box below. But so this deck, the reason that it called to me, the colors, of course, were just gorgeous on the shelf, but it has this spiral in here that is so much like the vortex, and we were visiting vortexes and portals in the Mount Shasta area. And so, of course, it drew my eye, and I said, all right. And of course, we were there on the higher heart journey. So there were a couple synchronicities. And what I didn't notice until later then is that lightning, this has a lightning bolt on it. A lightning bolt is a current synchronicity. And so that's part of the symbolism that has been coming through in the last several weeks for me. So that was like an added bonus, but I really didn't see it at the time. So this deck, as you can see here, the backs of the cards, lightning bolt. There's a card that I read in my Mayan oracle that's talking about Kawak, Cuauc, and that is the moment of lightning bolt transformation. So here we have this lightning bolt, and again with the vortexes, and looks like a Reiki symbol and stars. And of course, we were up near the higher elevations. The stars were so clear and amazing there. I got to see a shooting star because it was the Perseid meteor shower. So anyway, nicely done cards. They're of a good weight. And of course, the guidebook. I'm not familiar with this person and his writings, but there are some very good journaling prompts, and I think that he's probably written a book or something that this is based on. So I don't know the background, but because we all did bring journals on our trip, this was an excellent addition to the oracle decks that we were using. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get this towards near the end of the journey because it definitely was interesting to have some of those prompt questions, but you'll see from the guidance and the way that I read from the cards that I pulled for myself last night, you'll get a sense of why this is really an interesting deck for doing some introspective work. So if you'll just give me a pause for a moment, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we'll be able to see the cards clearer, and I'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Seeing if we can get this a little bit closer so that you'll be able to see the cards in detail as I'm reading. So these cards I drew last night, and I thought it was just a perfect example of the way that guidance can come in. So I wanted to share it because it also is a very timely message. So these two cards were kind of off by themselves before I really got into dealing the cards for the reading. And so I knew that they were going to be part of the message. So the first one is number 34, which is 7. Of course, 7 to me is the number of the divine feminine. Is kind of like a calling card for me personally. It also can mean your divine path and journey that you're taking. So it says here, you are perfectly imperfect. And then this card says your 111-year-old self. And you'll see here we have this masculine and feminine merged being, which of course I love, and the white hair. But these images prompted a lot. Here we have the connection to the crown chakra and the higher self, and the solar empowerment behind it. And then, of course, here we have more stars and the green color of the heart chakra. So anyway, these are the first two that came up. So before I get into this next sequence, I'll go ahead and share what the book says about these. So for number 34, I love it. You are perfectly imperfect. And I think about how John Legend says, all your perfect imperfections in his song. So we are not mistakes. We are not errors in any sense of the way. We are doing exactly what our soul is guiding us to do, to live the experience that we want to have here in this earthly existence. So we don't need to hold ourselves to these standards and expectations that we are somehow less than or failing or not up to some kind of par. So here we have, you are perfectly imperfect. We somehow want to be seen as perfect with absolutely no defects, holes, or scars. But those imperfections make you more beautiful rather than less. They give you more empathy and more strength to face anything. When your heart is cracked wide open, the light finds its way in. That's how the song of our soul can flow into our lives. Crack wide open. Your pain has meaning. Your sorrow has held tremendous significance beyond what you may have considered already. Embrace it all because your healed wounds become the medicine our world desperately needs now. All right, so that's the main guidance. And then it has a catalyst, which is a question to ask yourself, and then a checkbox for the people who like to do lists. So sharing the catalyst question is, what greater meaning can I now see coming from my greatest suffering? What greater meaning can I now see coming from my greatest suffering? In the cosmic checkbox, list 5 situations that cracked you wide open, then take an elevated view. What have you learned from those situations? What good things in your life would you not have without having experienced that situation or having learned what you did? All right, so as you can see, this is a very good prompt deck for inner reflection. I love those questions, very challenging, but what's interesting is like you're asking yourself, what have you learned from the situations? Here we have your 111-year-old self, right? Like if your future oldest self could turn back and say to your current self, what advice do you think that they would give? How do you think from that perspective your journey would be viewed? Would you be more compassionate? Would you have regrets? What wisdom would you pass on to your younger self, even from your older point at this vantage point? So let's see here what we have with the 111-year-old self. This is in a separate segment that deals with the cosmic conversation cards. So this one is actually card number 3, but when I first saw it, I thought it was 111, which you'll see why that's significant here in a little bit. But we certainly do have our 111-year-old self. The attributes are wisdom, fullness, and contentment. Your 111-year-old self wants to provide you guidance, wisdom, and advice, but only if asked. Imagine yourself in the future with the distinct perspectives of having lived a full, rich life. Your 111-year-old self has seen it all. Your ups and downs, your loves and heartbreaks, your successes and perceived failures, all of it. From this extended perspective, they are waiting to be called in for guidance. Potential questions to ask your 111-year-old self. What do you have to say about this? How can I follow my true path to where you are? What obstacles ahead am I not seeing? What are the mistakes you wish you hadn't made? Do you have any regrets? It's interesting because I think the closer we get to the elder status and our old wisdom, we realize that nothing really is a mistake, that everything has a purpose, and everything flows from a choice that we made, and we can learn from every choice. It's all to our growth. Okay, so those two started out the little underneath section, and then I started drawing cards. So let me just share with you how this unfolded and why I think it's so beautiful. The first card that came out is this 11. 11 is a master number, and so it is about co-creation and stepping into the realization that we are constantly co-creating our experience, and we have the power to create the reality that we want, where we are the most joyful and the most loving. So here we have this spiral again, and you can see it also has the chakra colors in it, from root chakra to crown, and it's got a little arrow kind of at the top showing that we are going up. And so I love all of this spiral of evolution. It makes me think of DNA as well. Each evolutionary turn requires you to give up who you think you are. So you think you're a caterpillar, you're a butterfly. You think you're a tadpole, and you're a frog, as we change over life. So in the book here for number 11, it says, each evolutionary turn requires you to give up who you think you are. At this threshold you have now come to, you must give up what you thought you were so that you can move into who you truly are. Each and every turn on the evolutionary spiral requires you to fully step into another level of creation to usher in what's next. A step on the spiral might sometimes feel like a step backwards, but there is only perfect progress on your pathless path as you surrender. I love that, pathless path. What do we say? 7 is also known as the path and the journey. Okay, pathless path as you surrender. Your identity is so deeply rooted in your roles, your car, your place in society, your bank account, your profession, all of it. It's time to shed your skin. Each turn has its own perils and rewards, both easier and harder every time. Harder to give up what came before, but easier because you know what's coming. Your next leap into galactic emergence. Oh, I love that. Beautiful. The snake shedding his skin has been a topic of conversation as well in my connections and client work that I've been doing. So very interesting. It says the cosmic catalyst is, what is the deepest identity I'm scared to give up? And it does give the cosmic checkbox, but I'm going to save those for those of you who want to go ahead and get the deck so that we can keep it moving. All right, the next card that came out was a 29, which of course I was like, oh, here's another 11. And it's silly, right? There's bananas, there's a little rainbow shooting out, a silly tongue face, and again with the swirl. So I saw the repeated symbolism, the vortex, the swirl, that structure, and of course the rainbow. I love this pink and yellow empowerment, heart-centered empowerment. But it's like candy canes too, candy bubble gum. So, to be enlightened, lighten up. Sometimes we take things so seriously when we get onto this path, and it becomes rather heavy, and we are meant to be light and joyful. It says here, it's incredible to realize that everything you see around you and every element in you are made of was once inside an exploding star. It's true. You are made of stars and born of the earth, but also created by plants and bacteria and fungi. As Carl Sagan put it, the cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself. So then why are you taking yourself so seriously? What do you want the universe to know of darkness and struggle or light and joy? Your cosmic journey can be whatever you make of it. You get to write your own punchline and finally be let in on the great cosmic joke. Laughter is the greatest medicine. Do you remember the last time you really laughed? Like the belly aching, stomach tightening guffaw? To be enlightened and to be enlightened requires you to lighten up. In the Cosmic Catalyst, it says, ha ha ha, what's the great cosmic joke? Get creative and draw or sketch it out too. The checks box says to watch your favorite comedy and laugh your ass off. I love it. I will say that Instagram is a good place to go to laugh about all things spiritual, and it's a good place to go when you're in the vibration of those light-hearted, joyful jokes that are kind to people, not the kind that aren't. But so lighten up. So here we have this 29, and then again with the universe, card number 1. Okay, so I'm like, okay, we're getting a theme here. We've got this spiral, we've got the spiral here, then we have the spiral in this universe card. And this again is also one of the cosmic activator, I think, cards. It's something, I forget what I just said, but it's the second set of cards that's included in the larger set. So, sorry, here we have this kind of like cosmic face. The third eye area has the kind of swirl opening. We've got a masculine and feminine integrated looking being looking out from us. And so, of course, number 1, the universe is, to me, it's saying that all things are possible for us, the world. And it just said we are star stuff, right? So we are the things that the universe is made of. All right. So, and this is, the universe says, all oneness, source, divine destiny, evolutionary love, and laughter. The universe is designed to evolve all life through love, light, and a lot of laughter. The universe is the source of all, the fullness of everything out of the seeming null of nothing. The universe is all-knowing, but with an elevated view. Trust there is perfect order within anything and everything you are experiencing from this limited aspect. The universe has a hilarious sense of humor to make sure you don't take life too seriously, because it's only life after all. The questions to ask are, what is my role to play in the greater story unfolding? What is the great cosmic joke? How can I connect more deeply with you? What can you share about this situation from a higher elevation? And how can I volunteer to be in alignment with this coming evolutionary shift? The beautiful part is when we ask questions of ourselves, our higher selves, our universe, guides, higher power, we will receive the answer into our awareness. Sometimes we just don't know to trust it. But I love how it's talking about laughing and playful. We are the creation in joyous expression. So what do we want to do? We want to create a world with more of that. And then I got your 111-year-old self. All right. So here we got so many 1 emblems, right? We have the path, the divine feminine. We have this 3-1 looking thing here. We have 11, we have 11, we have 1, and then we have your 11-year-old self. Even though it's on a 2, number 2 card, it still looks like 11. So it's like so much of a signal to me to say this is the creative moment. And it's very interesting because I did get in the last reading, Goddess Pele and Ignite Your Creative Fires. And then before that, I got from the Rage Create Sweet Ass Affirmations, I got something about raging into creation with all of your creative powers and energies. So to me, this is just signifying this is a beautiful moment to take advantage of the momentum behind and the connection that you have to yourself and source to create a life that is playful, because we are in an evolutionary shift at this very moment. As you know, we're in the energies of the Lion's Gate portal, which is a big thing, and I'm sure I'll be sharing more about that as well. So using this culmination to launch off into these new ways of being, shedding the old skin. So here we have our 11-year-old self, which is our inner child, playfulness, exploration, need for safety, and childlike perspectives. All right. That little boy or little girl inside you never goes away unless you stop letting them out. Then they wither away inside. They are your magical inner child with a mischievous little grin and a sparkle in their eyes. Your 11-year-old self wants to play, explore, and feel safe. Your 11-year-old is also more perceptive than you realized. They know when they're safe and when they're not, and will create armor around their hearts to survive. How would you treat an 11-year-old child? Coax your magical child to come out and play. The questions to ask of this archetype: what do you, my 11-year-old self, have to say about this? How can I play more? What would make this situation more fun? What did you like to do that I've forgotten? What do you want to share with me from my childhood? It's okay. You're truly safe. What did I see happen when I was young that I haven't been able to share? Okay, those are some deep, that's two aspects to the inner child conversation, like addressing any wounds that the inner child might have, any fears or things that need to be expressed, but then also allowing that carefree, playful, somewhat what we would call irresponsible, but not having a care of an adult framework, but just being in our childlike fun, playing in the dirt, playing in the paint, whatever our medium is that makes us go to our little happy fun place. That's where we need to go. So as you can see, these were so very, very interesting to receive all of these. And just for good measure, I'm going to pull one card real quickly, just for the wrap up. As you can see, the Cosmic Journey Oracle is a beautiful deck. Easy to use. I think the images trigger a lot of self-awareness. And of course, then I love the book guidance as well. So here, let's see. Let me cut it again real quick. And let's see, final message. Ha ha! Coming soon. Welcome to the next ascending age. And it's an 8. Oh, that's awesome. Lionsgate portal is on 8-8. So welcome to the next ascending age. I love this. We have a little golden age. We have a little era map, silver, bronze. And in the center, looks almost like a dragon biting its own tail, maybe. Yeah, or oh yeah, because it's got feathers and a reptile, like kind of like body, or serpent kind of body. Coming soon. All right, look at this. We have these two cards that look so similar. All right, coming soon, the next ascending age, card number 8. What is our final message? It's time to awaken to your role in the next ascending age of evolutionary consciousness of humanity. The ancient prophecies predicted light eons followed by darkness. This era is part of an approximately 26,000 year cycle that's part of a cycle within a greater galactic cycle. Our world is stepping out of a descending age and into an ascending silver age where we'll uncover long hidden gifts and talents. Thank you for being here in this emerging now. Thank you for showing up at the right time, and thank you for who you are becoming. The cosmic catalyst says, what is my role to play in the greater story unfolding? I love that. That was one of the questions that we were to ask the universe, I think. Yes. So I love it. Beautiful deck, the Cosmic Journey Oracle. Definitely one that I love and will continue to use. Here we go. And so I thank you for joining me for this in moment of being in the cards. It's just beautiful. I mean, how much better can it get when a message comes through that's so uplifting and positive? Uh, the Cosmic Journey Oracle cards, there's a link below. I'll put to the product. And I look forward to the next moment. I've got lots of things in my queue, so don't be surprised if you start to see multiple videos per day, because I've just got a lot of stuff backed up that I need to share that Spirit has guided me to experience for myself and then put out there in the world. So thank you, and know that the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.